And looks like we're getting going. So, first of all, good luck to the runners. But second of all, for anyone who doesn't know this category, from the title you may guess, it's completing the game with no cape and no star world. What that means is we won't be able to be flying over any of the levels like you would in most categories, and it's essentially the warpless version of the run. Can't go through Star World straight to Bowser, you've got to take the long route through the game. And there's not a whole lot to do in World 1 other than just hold right and jump. Get as much swag in as you can. And prepare yourself for the beginning of World 2. Okay, so neither of them got a 361 on the game timer there. It is possible if you jump off those turn blocks and let go of right that your speed would lock at a good value and you'd get a 361. If you hear us talk about any numbers during the levels towards the end of them, it'll probably be referencing the game timer at the top of the screen. For example, in this level, if you run on these brown platforms, because they push you right, you can gain a bit more speed and you'll end up with a 259 on the game timer instead of a 258 if you run on them long enough. So yeah, you have to take a death if you do accidentally get a cape, but there's not really many places where a cape would just get in your way. It would only really be a turn, a roulette block, and even then it's fairly easy to avoid getting the cape. So it shouldn't be too big of a problem.
Yeah, there's maybe only 2 spots where you're even close to a cape. Hey!
Nice shell jump there. So that doesn't save a lot of time, but you can avoid falling in the water by doing a quick left-right there, throwing the shell underneath you and bouncing off of it. That's pretty... it's harder than it looks, for sure. So you may have asked why they were staying small instead of getting the midways, and the answer is mainly for this beginning of the room of Iggy's castle. It's easier to jump under the first Koopa if you're small, and you can also make a longer jump under another Koopa if you're small, so it can be slightly faster. Some people prefer to stay small for World 2 in this category as well, but it looks like they're both going fire this time. And it's not a huge difference either way, it's just mainly preference. And a nice kill from the both there. 241 on Thug's, 240 on Venom's game timer. So Thug very slightly in the lead, but not massively so coming out of World 1. Could easily go both ways.
Yeah, I think it'll definitely be this next world coming up where we see them start to diverge.
Yeah, and World 2 is where the run starts to get really interesting. World 1 is pretty much the same in every category. This is where you can start to see some interesting stuff. Like, even in the first level, you'd usually see people flying over here, but now we get to see some interesting platforming. And they'll be wanting to take the secret exit here, so getting this Yoshi is how they're gonna avoid having to fly to get up to that secret exit. Because, as we all know, all Yoshi is useful for is an extra jump.
I am disappointed Thug didn't go for the shell jump he was practicing earlier today.
And he already got one.
That's true. He's good for the one. He's good for the one.
Yeah, another difference that you'll see in this level is they won't be entering this pipe they're coming up to here. In cape categories, you'd go in there and grab a Koopa, but it's not faster to go through the pipes in no cave categories because the pipe transitions just take so long. And you can instead grab these throw blocks here. Move faster when you're holding something because of physics. Oh, Venom taking a hit there. Grabbing that mushroom for safety. But won't be able to be keeping that fire flower, unfortunately. But they'll be able to get another one back before it matters. Now, this level in the game is one that's, like many ghost houses, it's supposed to try and confuse the casual player. And the way you actually work it is to go through the door, and it takes you to an identical room. You go through the door again, and go back to the first room, lower down, hit a vine, and then climb up. But we want to go fast, so you can just spin jump on that boo, get up the first time through.
Alright, DP3 time.
Yeah, the infamous level in this category. Hopefully we'll see no deaths.
Oh, Thug was just not feeling it, I guess.
Better to be safe than to die, I guess.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, that's
timing.
interesting.
I bet Thug's really confident in his decision now.
Well, it worked out for him. Looks like Venom's having to do this bit again, but it can be a very tricky stage, especially when you are first learning the category, to get through without dying. I love that strat from Thug.
Oh my god, it's beautiful.
It's so visually pleasing. And again, this Yoshi here will just be grabbing for an extra jump. Thug grabbing a second fire flower there. It'll be useful later in the run, but doesn't necessarily need it now. And you'll see him dismount Yoshi, and that's because there's a chance that, well, I should say the other way around. There's a chance that you don't need to do the dismount, but usually you'll bonk that flying hammer bro platform and fall into the pit. Throwing the Yoshi, you'll get him to go onto the platform and you'll get there yourself. So it's kind of an odd-looking strat, but usually it's necessary. Unless you take the star like Venom, that's also valid. Slightly less fast, but it works.
Yeah, I've actually already seen that several times in this tournament, like way more than I thought we would have seen it. People like grabbing that star.
Yeah, and I can't say I blame them. It's, you know, a very safe strat. Jumping under the big hammer bro can be pretty spooky sometimes.
Yeah.
And this room too that Venom's in right now is a room that you don't get to usually see in other categories, so always fun to see that. And as we saw Thug doing, and probably we'll be seeing Venom doing as well, is grabbing that spring for a quicker jump up at the end of the room. Grab the spring, bounce on the dry bones.
Oh, man, I was scared he was going to jump there, too. That's a long death. Those dry bones bullied him, man.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
and that
a rough
thwomp.
one.
But as Venom's going back for power-ups, I guess, we'll see Thug advancing into World 3. And we want to keep Yoshi here. This isn't where we're going to use the extra jump, although you could. We're going to instead use this blue shell to take Yoshi up to the secret exit. And then use him for another jump in the next level.
Man, it's a long walk for a power-up, buddy.
It is, but if you feel you need it, sometimes it can be worth it. Multiple deaths can easily shake your confidence, especially in a race.
True, very true. That's easy to have it shook in No Cape, No Star World.
Yeah. Nice level there from Thug. And Vanilla Secret 2 is a level that blows my mind every time I see it. Gonna be using a whole lot less of the ground than you'd expect in this level.
Right, for a level that's made of nothing but ground, you don't use too much. Oh, crazy lag there.
Yeah. Didn't make it worse by hitting that P-switch, though. There's a P-switch in a block that if you hit, you can really dial up the lag. So good that he avoided that. It's a very easy one to hit as well. And the dolphin level.
These are really underutilized in this game.
Yeah, I wish they were in there a bit more. They're fun to play around with. And it's exclusively in the Japanese version of the game. You can eat those dolphins. Thug didn't go for it this time, but I believe it can reduce a bit of lag. Or so I've heard.
Mm-hmm.
But either way,
exactly. That's what I've heard.
But either way, it's just a cool thing to do. Get to show off that little quirk. So you may have also noticed, if you've got a sharp eye, that Thug came further down in the pipe before starting swimming. And that's because he entered the fort with a Yashi. Even though Yashi doesn't enter these forts with you, you still take longer to come out of the pipes when you enter the fort with him. That said, it's worth having him through for that, so that you can keep him for the next levels. Not a whole lot to say in the forts. Just swimming.
I was just thinking the same thing. It's like, well, he's still swimming.
Just keep swimming, just keep swimming.
He goes from a nice peaceful swim to just an insane Reznor fight filled with lava. Blink of an eye.
Yeah, don't want to swim in that.
Oh, Venom's scaring me right now. He's at least out of the danger zone.
Yeah.
Can kind of reset his cues.
I saw a cape feather there, but it's fine, you didn't grab it.
No touch.
So this part of the run is a little bit like, it gives you a few minutes to calm down before you get to Forest of Illusion, which can be kind of annoying sometimes. Less so than in other categories, but it's, especially the end of FOI 1, can be a real pain.
Yeah, I feel like the entirety of the top of Vanilla Dome and the whole Butterbridge area is kind of just an intermission before the really cool stuff starts happening.
Yeah. So that question block there on Thug screen is another cape that you don't want to get. So many of them just taunting you. So this next level is one of the ones where it's really useful to have this Yoshi that we've got. This level without Yoshi is much harder than if you do have him, as you'll see in a second. We can't fly over the level with a cape, but that doesn't stop us using these blue shells.
I like that that's a small distinction that really doesn't affect the run except for like a couple of places. Like it's not like you're flying with the Yoshi in every level.
Yeah. This isn't 95. Okay, and now we start to get a bit more interesting again. So there's a few different strats that people do in Ludwig's castle. Thug going for the more standard one there. There's a bit of a faster thing you can do involving a scroll, but by no means necessary. You just gotta delay yourself the right amount of time for the bony beetles to wake up. And then these fences in room 3 are also something that can be difficult to optimize. Doing fairly well on them though. Nice castle.
Yeah, that was really good. 251.
And we didn't mention before, but you see there, he just killed Ludwig straight away. And in a few of the Koopa Kid fights, you can do that. Instead of bouncing on them 3 times, you can use 2 fireballs and a jump. And that saves even more time in Ludwig than it does in Morton and Roy, because you don't have to watch him go through any of those shell phases where he spins around for a while. So having Fireflower hair is really useful.
It's time for Forest of Illusion. Oh no!
Oh, damn.
Oh my god.
That's unfortunate on Venom's screen there. Lost that
He
Yoshi.
had a chance and Yoshi just ran right by him. Didn't even
Yeah.
look him in the eye.
Right at the end too, that's disappointing.
Oh.
Especially for going into Butterbridge 2, so yeah, not something I'm surprised to see going back for another Yoshi.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's race smart.
Yeah. Thug using that chill there to kill the Hammer Bro doesn't always work, but glad to see that it did there. No hiccups towards the end. That can be pretty spooky. So, glad to see that that went smoothly. And FY2 is a level that nobody wants to do properly, so this is where we'll be ditching Ayashi once we get through the wall.
Man,
Got kicked out there.
I would love to see some first try clips in this tournament at some point.
So yeah, getting through the wall there is both based on Yoshi's subpixel and also the frame counter. And, I believe it's the level timer specifically. And it's a 4-frame rule, so even if you manipulate Yoshi's subpixel perfectly, there's still a 1 in 4 chance that you get kicked out of the wall and just have to try again. So he got that, unluckily, but got through second try, so it's fine. So yeah, after these bubbles pop, you've got a short bit of time until the enemies in them will actually start interacting with Mario. So sometimes it'll look like he's just running through enemies, and that's because he is. Beautiful FY3 there.
Yeah, it always looks so cool getting up to that pipe.
And Roy's Castle here is the real reason you'd want to have 2 Fire Flowers. If you only have 1 power-up, you can do a damage boost to skip a little bit of the level, because this is essentially an auto-scroller. You can skip a bit of it if you have a power-up, but if you have 2 Fire Flowers, then you can both skip that section and keep a Fire Flower to make the boss fight go faster. Venom going into FY1 as well. Hopefully it'll go as smoothly as it did with Thug. We'll see.
Yeah, he's already playing it pretty safe.
Oh. Yeah, damn.
Dang it, man.
That slight hesitation that Thug did there, deciding whether to go back for the power-up or to keep running on. I think since he hesitated, it probably would have been better for him to actually grab that power-up, but he decided to just run on with it because he knew he wouldn't be able to keep it, and then ended up not having enough invincibility frames to get through. So that's really unfortunate. He went to go for the keeping 5 flowers jab, but now he's going in small. Have to sit through that bit on the snake block.
You know, he's just trying to keep things interesting.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but that gives Venom a little bit of time to catch up a bit.
Oh, man. Dropping Yoshi down in the little pit like that's not good.
Yeah, so because Yoshi has been free to run around by himself now, we don't know what his subpixel is. It could be good, it could be bad. You just gotta keep trying for the clip in this case, in this situation. There's nothing you can really do.
Looks like he's just not even going for left-hand clips.
Yeah, and that's understandable. There's a different visual cue and stuff for the left clips, so if you only know right, it's better to just wait a bit longer for that one again. And Thug's done with Forest of Illusion.
Man, that's rough. I know he was just at PB pace coming out of Ludwig.
Yeah.
And he's got a pretty good PB. Comes in at 35.17. And
That is pretty good.
yesterday, he had his first race, and he missed his PB by 1/10 of a second.
Oh.
It's like he typically throws down really good runs.
So this is looking to be like a textbook CI one here from Thug. It's another level that's harder than it looks to begin with. It looks pretty simple, but it can be pretty difficult to get the hang of.
Oh my god, we're gonna see a Goomba clip.
Yeah, I was wondering what Venom was gonna go for there, but it looks like they're going for this clip. Or not.
I'm not sure if he knows how to do it.
Yeah, it looks like maybe not. Gonna go back for one of the mushrooms in a bubble, I guess.
It looked like he was trying to basically like do block duping, but with the Goomba, instead of really trying to clip that Goomba in.
Yeah, so...
Oh, don't hit it yet.
So, well... Oh, no. So while we were talking there, Thug did take a death in the ghost house, but getting right back at it. And what we were referring to with the Goomba clip is that it's actually possible to throw a Goomba through the wall in that sublevel. And
You're about to see it done again.
yeah, you can throw it between those two cement blocks at the top and hit the turn block to get that spinning. So that's how you typically do this level small. But
Yeah,
it's
he's at least kind of running at it now.
It's not easy. Yeah.
Dude, I'm worried that Goomba might wake up if he just keeps messing around. There he goes.
I think once it's been taken through a pipe, it can't wake up.
Oh, you're absolutely right. Yeah, like the bombs.
And thugkjj in Chuckline 2 here, and this level is kind of quirky. It has a little quirk that no other level does have, in that the rooms you enter are based on things like the in-game timer, your coins, your dragon coins, and so on. To get the secret exit, like we are here, you have to enter the second pipe with a game timer of 250 or higher. If it's 249 or less, then you'll get the normal exit, which you don't want.
Yeah, I really feel Venom needs to just call it and grab himself a mushroom. He's not coming at this Goomba clip in the right way.
Running out of game time as well. I might see a time up here.
Yep, he's moving on. That'll give him a good chance to just kind of recalibrate. I mean, he still has the same issue, though. He's small and going towards the pipe. He needs some sort of power up.
It looks like he might just be in a bit of a panic state at the moment, not knowing what to do. But Forest of Illusion is the world that will get you like that, if any of them.
Oh, both of these guys just keep taking deaths in this run.
Yeah. Haven't seen a game over yet, though, which that's on the plus side at least.
They're around enough 1-ups and coins to kind of negate what's going on here.
Yeah, these slopes can be finicky.
Oh yeah, it happens all the time in this game where you hit jump and the next second you're in lava.
So yeah, what you want to do with these slopes is, because you know the one that thugkjj is in right now, because you know that they can eat your jumps like they do, if you just hold jump on the second to last platform, if your jump gets eaten, then you'll just run onto the last one and you can jump again, and if you don't get your jump eaten, you'll make it onto the final platform. So for anyone who doesn't know that tip, that's a good one to go for.
Venom was big. He was making it towards the pipe. He just had to get up there.
Yeah.
He's just clawing for mushrooms right now.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot in this level once he's already got the midway. Grabbing that Yoshi as a buffer power up, though, was a good idea. And Thug going through Wendy's room 2 here is a pretty cool level, pretty cool room to see done well, and we've just seen it done well. That was pretty good. That's the one where it's pretty easy to lose your P-speed and have to just take it slow.
All those blocks are hit on Venom's. That was funny. Alright, he's got his mushroom, he's got his buffer. What are you doing?
I don't know what to say. Oh! This is the...
Oh my god! How have I not seen that before? That's
a good idea. What's he doing now?
Venting. I understand. I think he just found himself a new strat for the time being.
Yeah,
Just
that's a
grab
pretty
the
good
Yoshi
one to
from
go
the
for,
start.
I guess.
Oh my. Looks like he's trying to grab the key as Yoshi eats it.
Yeah.
Thug's all the way out at Sunken Ghost Ship by now.
Yeah, and in this room, if you delay yourself a certain amount, you can prevent these boomerings from spawning. Thug didn't go for it there. But looks like he's happy to just swim through them instead, which is not something I was expecting, I'm gonna say. That's pretty impressive, actually.
That's insane. Yeah, he's known for going for wild strats, even at times he really just doesn't need to.
Oh, just in chat that he was going for that time up key. So if that's referring to what I believe it is, if you are holding a key and you time up, I believe you need to be have the key in Yoshi's mouth, time up, and you'll fall past the keyhole, then you finish the level and don't die.
Oh, that's pretty neat.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool oversight, but if the race was closer, then I think it's fair to say it's not something you'd go for.
Yeah, definitely not. It seems like it would take a while to set up.
Yeah. And a nice Vob one there from Thug. And we'll see him delay at the start of this level for a second, and then start running, and that's to give the sandbars a little bit of time to go down so that you can jump up to them with P-speed and keep going through this level quickly. And in this room, at the very start above the pipe to the top left, just off screen there's a cape block, so if ever you're in this level and you want cape, there's a little secret that you could go for, but not going to see it in these runs.
You can tell Thug went for sandbar and didn't get it, just like yesterday, and he's just hopping mad. As soon as he finished his race yesterday, he went to the practice cart and popped off like 5 in a row.
Luckily, glad to see he went for the strat where you don't die if you miss it, though. I've seen too many people miss getting the sandbar and get the death instead.
Yeah, dying to sandbar in 2020, come on. Venom just didn't get that distance he needed, fell into the gap.
Yeah, and we saw the Thug jumped against the wall there, but didn't quite make it up. The height that Mario jumps is based on his speed, and when you've got your max speed, or any speed really, when you're running at max speed, your speed oscillates, and until then it just builds up. So your jump height is not always going to be exactly predictable. And you have to get lucky with your jump height to get that ledge up. God, I can't talk.
Venom is putting on a fashion show right now. Not sure how I feel about it. He's gonna show off some cape in DS1.
I wonder what he's going for here.
I can't imagine what would be impressive here in DS1 with the cape.
Hybrid pipe? That's all I can think of. No? Just going through Star World? Is he gonna get both cape and Star World?
Oh, maybe that's what he's doing. Yeah, maybe he's trying to beat the game before Thug. He was trying to get to Bowser quickly.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too funny. That's too funny.
Thinking I'm not gonna finish the No Cape No Star World run, so I might as well beat the game.
He's going to grab cape and grab Star World.
Shaking my head, dude. Shaking my head. My warp strategy didn't work.
That is a wild room 1 ghost house. Why am I even paying attention to that? We got a Bowser fight from Thug right now.
Yeah, that's what we should really be talking about. So there's some stuff you can do to make the Bowser fight go a bit quicker, even though he throws out 2 Mecha Koopas and, you know, you need 2 hits on him to get to the next phase. We see that he delayed to keep a Mecha Koopa into the beginning of the next phase. And we can use that to skip one of these bowling balls that he'll be dropping down. So when Bowser stops moving to start dropping the second bowling ball, we'll hit him with a Mecha Koopa then, as shown right there. And now he'll just skip dropping that bowling ball altogether and throw out 2 Mecha Koopas instead. And thanks to how maths works, we now have another Mecha Koopa left over for the next phase. And that's lucky as well, because if you hit Bowser while he's bouncing around, he'll bounce less times, which is faster. So I believe it's that he'd usually do 8 bounces, but now that we've hit him instead, he'll do 5. And we only need now 1 more attack until... Oh, nice quick hit as well.
Yeah, really nice last hit. GG's to Thug.
Yeah, 37:53, not a bad time at all.
You see Venom going for Cape Clip right now. We've already got our winner, Thug, so GG's to the both of them for coming out and putting on those runs, man.
Yeah. It was a good race to see. Unfortunately, it went pretty one-sided towards Forest, especially. But it was a good showing nonetheless.
Yeah, Forest of Illusion just can do awful things to people. Ooh, those are hot zips. Oh, that was nice.
Yeah, that was actually pretty good.
291. And you guys make sure to stay tuned, because here coming up we have another race going on, and that's Limestoners versus Lanxion.
Yeah, what time is that scheduled to start?
That should be started here in about 10 minutes, so right after we get done here.
Nice. So I believe you're doing the commentary for that one solo, right?
Yeah, I will be sticking around.
Yeah, so unfortunately it's already pretty late for me with time zones, so I'm gonna hop out, but thanks for having me around.
Yeah, thanks for coming out and doing comms. This was a great race to watch.
Yeah. And good luck to the next runners. See ya.
Alright guys, so we're gonna be back in just about 10 minutes with Limestoners versus Lanxion. They're very close on the leaderboards. This should actually be a really good matchup, so y'all make sure to stay tuned in for that, and we'll be right back in just a little bit.